Hey, kia ora whānau. We are here with the beautiful Ro and Namesia, who are, yes, on a little bit of a journey at the moment. They are locals here in Hawke's Bay, and they're here to share their story. So why don't we start right at the beginning? We'll start right at the beginning. How long have you guys been seeing each other?
We're saying a bit over 3 months, maybe a year and 3 months.
3 months? Yeah. I think it's been a little bit longer than that. It's been how long?
A year and 3 months.
A year and 3 months? So why do you say 3 months and you say a year and 3 months?
I feel like I'm still stuck in that honeymoon phase of, that 3 month period where everything's just so beautiful and energetic and loving, and I kind of got locked in it. I'm happy with it, so yeah, 3 months.
My answer is because she's the male, and that's the male's answer to everything. 3 months.
They don't keep track of those dates, do they? Hey,
because every date is as special as the previous.
Oh, cut it out, you two. Right, so you guys met about a year and 3 months ago.
Yes.
How did you guys meet?
So I moved up to the Hawke's Bay, and Namesia was working as a bartender.
Where did you move from?
Martin Barrow. So I was in wine
okay.
marketing and wine tourism industry down there.
Yeah.
I packed a set after COVID just because it's not really hospitality. So yeah, moved up here for a little breakaway, and I walked into the common room, had a couple of drinks and a couple more. I'd gone through to one of the door areas, if you know the bar, and I'd walked into this most stunning, amazing girl with these beautiful space buns and these gorgeous sparkling eyes, and she was all hospo faced on, and I was like, oh, you're gorgeous. And she just looked at me so professionally and said, thanks, and walked off, and instantly my heart broke because I know the hospo. Thanks. So it's like, time to go home. Anyway, they're interested. They had a job advertisement on the window in the bar, so I went in and applied for the job, and I got it.
Oh my gosh!
So now can someone else help us with the job?
So were you actually applying for a job here, or were you applying for love?
Genuinely applying for a job. I had forgotten that I'd met the most stunning girl in the world prior to that, until I'd got the job and saw her and red face of shame for about a week until she stopped rubbing it in my face.
So you guys started dating. So that was, when was that? That was last year. What was that? We're in December now. About September? August, September last year?
Yeah.
So what did those first sort of dates look like?
Well, they were very much home oriented. I think our biggest, most exciting date we took was to Wellington. And yeah, that's it basically.
Wait, was that for Parliament?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! So you guys both attended Parliament?
Yes, we did. With great pride and love.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How many days were you guys down there?
Only a couple of days because, like a lot of people, when you're mandated out of work, you still got to find a way to cover rent when you're not at home and travel. And so it was a bit interesting. Readjusting where you find your currency has been a beautiful gift that's come out of it all. So.
Absolutely. So you guys had some trouble when the mandates came in?
Yeah, hugely. I think socially we were affected in a massive way. We were both quite social people, we felt at the time. And just losing all of those connections because you weren't allowed, so to speak, to go into establishments or places you usually would with your friends, and having them just sort of drop off and forget that you existed or create reasons for you to not exist in their lives was difficult. But on the upside, it sort of pushed us together to go through a lot of experiences relationships wouldn't go through so soon. And yeah, have that peace to process and work out how we dealt with those.
Oh, that must have been amazing to be able to lean on each other through all of those tough times.
We only really had each other to lean on.
Yeah.
And your parents.
Oh, my parents.
Your parents have been nice.
So your parents, Namesia, they've been quite a good support through this pandemic?
Rocks, really.
Hard.
Yeah.
If we didn't have them, I honestly don't know where we'd be. Probably living in a car.
Yeah.
If it wasn't taken off you for parking in the wrong place, maybe.
Oh, now. And what about your family, Ro? What have they been like?
Ooh, my family are quite regimental. I've grown up with a generational government working family, so police, defence force, all of that sort of stuff. I'm a grown adult, so my decisions are my decisions alone. But however, that decision does affect them as a family and their abilities to live comfortably in retirement. Normal family relationships, my own son. So yeah, it's been different, but the reward from that is meeting other families, and that there are other ways to create a family. It doesn't have to be regimental to the letter of somebody's law. It's about love and just sharing that growth and understanding, and yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can see you getting a little bit emotional there, so yeah, we won't push on that too hard. But you did mention in there that you have a son. You've got a young man, by the sounds of it.
His name is Daniel, and he's a pretty choice dude, actually. He's just finished high school, year 13.
Wow.
He's got plans to attend university next year, but of course teenagers go through struggles in life, and I think he's coming up against one of those at the moment. But he's a choice dude. He's hard grafter. Handsome as looks like this.
Hey!
Oh,
cool,
he's a great kid, and so far his journey in my life has been the biggest gift, and to be able to share that with someone else, to have a teammate, a partner, to share those highs and lows and unique situations are a feast.
And so what was it like raising him? Did you raise him alone? Did you have...
Predominantly alone, but I had the support of my family as well. They've always
Great.
been there for him to make sure that the next generation's going to be strong. I'll give them that. Their way.
Awesome.
But yeah, where was I going? What was the question?
Just about your boy and what it was like raising him.
Raising him, and so the upside to that was it was always my decision and always my way. The downside to that is when I do something really cool, you look to the side and there's no one to smile with or share that with, or when you're having a hard time, you just want a little extra hour's sleep.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have someone to offer that, or when you get those chafing when you're feeding, someone to help cool those nipples down, and would have liked to have had that time round, but hopefully I can get it.
Maybe this time round. Sounds good. So you started dating a year and a month, 3 months ago, or whatever it was. How soon did you guys move in together?
Very quickly.
We were pretty, I'm not going to say forced, but having two, and not having two incomes, and trying to finance life, it kind of forced us to move into each other with each other. But
Probably sooner than you
Sooner
normally
than
would
I
have.
rather, but
Yeah.
it was a blessing in disguise.
So you guys have been living together for approximately a year
I'd
now?
say about that,
Yeah. And how's it going, being in each other's face every day of the week?
Surprisingly good. Yeah,
That is so good to
surprisingly.
hear.
The first time in my life I can say that I absolutely love it.
Now, I've known you, Namesia, for a few years now, and I know that you have wanted to have a baby for a very long time. A very long time. Ro, I've just met you today, but you are one beautiful wahine. What are your feelings surrounding starting all over again with another new baby?
Exciting. It's not something I thought I would ever do. When you do it alone once, it's as beautiful it is. It's kind of too challenging almost to do it again. But it's not alone. I'm with somebody else, and it's almost like my first time again. I'm contributing again, and it's with another bloodline, another set. It's exciting. Yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm excited. I'm not worried or nervous or. Yeah, this has
I'm
been
excited.
Yeah.
So is it sort of safe to say that before you met this beautiful creature, you weren't looking at having another child?
Not at all.
But now you seem to have grown on the idea?
Oh, absolutely. Namesia's been clear from the outset. This is what she wants to do in her life, to raise a child and share her love with it. I mean, anyone that knows her knows she is an abundance of love, and just, she needs somewhere to challenge all of that. So now, but also, as far as I would like to have another family again, there's been a whole shift being with Namesia and her family, and with the mandates and everything going on with where I position myself in the world now and life, and goals are different now. It's not so much about what you have anymore or what colour plaque your name's written on, but more about, is someone going to hold me when I'm feeling down? Am I going to be left standing on the footpath alone when the coffee shop won't let me in, kind of thing? Currencies, just a change in currency, and love is the strongest currency I have.
For sure. So you mentioned the mandates a couple of times. How did the mandates affect you guys personally? Were you working at the time they came in? Were you studying? What were you doing?
I was working as a receptionist at a school.
A receptionist, yeah.
Yes, and yes, the mandates did affect me, very much so. I lost my job there.
Speak up a bit.
As well as I lost my job as a bartender. So yeah, that really put a toll on my own mental health and stuff like that. But this one here, This one here has been my rock to get through it.
So it's essentially a bit of rejection you're going through when you get mandated out. You know, that's sort of how it feels. It may not be in the intention of the business, but it really is. It really is a rejection. How did your employers manage that at the time? Were you mandated out in a kind way, or was it quite abrupt? And
Let's just say it was quite abrupt.
it was quite abrupt.
Yeah, and both jobs.
Wow.
Brutal.
Okay.
That was brutal, yeah.
All right. And how about you, Ro? What were you doing at the time?
So I'd left Martinborough from my marketing came up, was loving. I'd spent maybe 2 months in the orchards, which was cool, playing on a ladder. It was like being paid to do what you did as a 10-year-old all day long. Frickin' dream. So I did that in the daytime and then picked up some part-time hours at the Common Room bar where Namesia worked as well.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, mandates affected both of those industries at the time as well. So yeah, we were kind of riding high, then riding really low. And when they invited everyone back to come back to work, of course, it kind of really gone like stuff here. You go study for years, get your degree, commit to companies, give them everything you've got. You're good enough to train people for those companies, and then all of a sudden, just that confidence level.
Yeah.
When you were effectively forced out of your employment, were you offered any sort of maybe counselling service to help you transition out of... Okay, we're laughing. That didn't happen. It was a genuine question.
Thank you for asking. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I feel this is the counsellor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't employed at the time. I was studying, so I don't
we
know how exactly...
We
it
were
worked.
each other's support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm so glad you guys had each other. Now, we are here to talk about, essentially, you guys came to me this morning and you just happened to mention over a cup of coffee that, hey, we are really looking for some unvaccinated sperm. Which really piqued my ears up, because why wouldn't you want unvaccinated sperm? Can you tell me a little bit about your journey? Have you tried... obviously you're a same-sex couple. It's a little bit difficult to develop a pregnancy on your own. What sort of methods have you tried so far? What sort of areas have you looked at to try and make this dream a reality?
Oh, we took a bit of time to investigate the IVF method and just what fertility associates can offer. There'll be costs involved, so just to try and work out a budget. And unfortunately, the budget, we can't meet that, but also there's no guarantee that we can choose to have clean sperm, unvaccinated sperm or anything like that. You just take what you're given. In the same breath, there's a lot of red tape and stuff you have to cross to make sure you're not going to just sit on the...
I'll just add in there, just while we're speaking of it, fertility associates do actually allow you to choose your own donor if you would like to. Just going to throw that in there while we're talking about it.
Yeah, we couldn't find too much out about that,
but it does still cost a lot.
Yeah, the cost was really off-putting.
So what sort of cost are we talking about here?
So initially we're looking at $1,200 to $1,500 for the first consult. That's
just for a consult?
Just for a consult. They will then do basically a smear and take some blood.
So that would happen in the consult?
In the consult, so that's included with that. From there, you still need to pay for your follow-up appointment, and then depending on what information you want to find out or explore, there's added costs in that. Just like a warrant of fitness, maybe you need new tyres, you want brake pads, but we'll only give you tyres if you only pay for tyres, kind of thing. Which it sort of defeats the purpose of trying to create a healthy life. We'd rather clean, healthy. Namesia is very clean. She's, healthy, strong. Her natural immunity is out of this world. Why would we want to mess that up with something that's already shown to
It's
to
not
destroy?
in my body.
Hard out, definitely.
That's
so, have you approached any maybe unvaccinated friends you have? Or
We don't really have friends anymore.
Oh! Okay, so we've lost a lot of friendships
Very
over the
much
last
so.
couple of years.
Yeah.
So
both
what
of us.
does your social circle look like now?
And so this
hi.
is Jess.
Hi guys.
Oh,
Jess,
you
we've got
guys.
a lovely Chica Kimmy, the bro Polder. Yeah, that's a
Wow. Okay, this has been a really rough couple of years for you guys by the sounds of it. It's sorry, don't want to bring up the
well, it
emotions,
has been, but in
it's
the
been
same
a
breath, it's
blessing,
also
yeah.
been really gifting as well. Yeah.
So I do have an important question. Why unvaccinated sperm? Why, in your own words, what is your reasoning for seeking out unvaccinated sperm rather than just going with the world and taking any old sperm?
In a nutshell, me, I don't have it in my body. So
I take it that means you're not vaccinated?
No, I'm not vaccinated. Nothing at all. I'm clean. I don't have it in my body, so I don't want the baby, to have it either. And I think that should be my choice too.
Is it just this particular vaccine you don't want in the sperm, or are there other vaccines that you're worried about as well?
Just this one in particular, yes.
Any reason why just this one is of a concern to you?
I mean, when you think of when we first got together, I had received my second vaccine. I, of course, followed the rules to start with my NZDF family roots. Pretty much the next day from receiving my second vaccine, Namesia gained an injury and was pretty ill for a few months. I was fine, and I think just seeing that effect from outside, I if I want that inside. I don't. It was scary to see. Of course, after everything wore on, I got pretty cooked too. But I just, if they can test it out the way they test out the vaccines and can show us that the side effects are far less than then all I'm seeing is just injury after injury
Not enough information.
and people that haven't even been vaccinated receiving injuries from the vaccine, and that just cuts me. I mean, your own choice isn't even allowed to be your choice because other people are forcing it. Just want to keep it clean.
You mentioned something there about how, something to do with untesting and stuff. And so in that, are you referring to how all these other vaccines have been around for many, 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 many years, and we've seen the long-term effects of those vaccines, but this particular one we haven't?
I think we're still creating it, aren't we? So we can't really see any long-term effects generationally down the line.
But the stuff that has been shown
already, I feel should be enough to just say stop. But
yeah. Now, at the moment, you are actively seeking sperm donation, and you're seeking that privately rather than through an organisation. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, if you had to describe the kind of person that you're looking for, what kind of person would that be?
I've always been quite partial to Vin Diesel. Or just the nice teeth and the guns.
I can't complain with that.
Ideally, if he's busy, anyone else out there, someone who is just willing and open to be honest throughout the process. Nothing's weird or strange, or just honesty for everyone up front. Someone who respects that honesty. And respects that different views and opinions may occur, but just honest for me. Someone who will respect Namesia and us as a family unit. It's not just a chirp, blim root up or anything. It's we're asking for a gift of life that we can share with you if you want to be a part of it, or
absolutely.
Or if you don't at all. We don't want your money, don't want your jacket or your hoodie.
Just want your love.
Just a hearty swimmer.
So, regarding medical requirements, so your first preference, obviously, unvaccinated donor. Are there any other medical preferences?
Preferably no withdrawal things from some crazy chemical addiction you might have, or preferably. Just medically. Be honest. If there's heart conditions in your family or cholesterol, we all have those things in our family. Just be honest if you're aware of it. Some of us aren't aware.
Yeah.
Just
so
honesty.
Someone willing to have that open and honest conversation.
And we're advice first.
Yeah.
Now, say you do find this ideal sperm donor, and I know you guys. I know you're not just going to choose the first person who chucks in an application,
Unless it's Vin.
Unless it's Vin. Okay. Yep. But say you do get this sperm donor, you guys get on well, you hit it off, you have a connection, and you want to go ahead with this. What would that look like? I mean, initially, I guess you'd have to discuss some sort of agreement. Would there be a legal contract in place?
I think that would have to be in the discussion. We were going more along the lines of just a formal agreement between us, if we could do it that way, instead of putting legal things on it.
If it did come down to a legal document being drawn up, would you guys be open to that sort of thing? Yep,
absolutely. Just to keep the lines of communication honest and clear from the outset. That's
so
what we want, just honest.
We go through this, we meet the right donor, we draw up a contract, maybe or maybe not, get that signed agreement underway. Then we get to the fun action part. We're going to skip that bit here. We're going to move past that, and we're going to discuss. So, what happens when the baby is born? I mean, first off, you've got the birth certificate. What would the birth certificate look like? I know here in New Zealand now you can put down, for instances with sperm donation, you can put down 2 mothers on the birth certificate. The father doesn't need to be there at all. What are your preferences? Would you like the father to be on the birth certificate?
I don't have my biological father's name on my birth certificate for whatever reason. Think I know who he is? I myself, if the father or the donor would like to be on that birth certificate, amen, brother. Like, give a person some identity. That's choice. If they choose to be anonymous, respect. I'll chuck mine on there if you don't mind. But we want to raise this child with the utmost honesty and truthfulness and love. And I don't want it to be a big secret or anything. I'll wait till you're 14 to tell you the truth about your consent, whatever, just,
Open and honest from the start.
I think that's what the country's missing in the world at the moment. We need.
And what about like throughout the pregnancy? I mean, obviously, essentially, this is your baby. This is both of your babies. This is not the sperm donor's baby. But how would you feel if, say, the father wanted to come along to ultrasound appointments?
Oh,
I'd love it.
That would actually be pretty cool.
I would love it.
What if the father wanted to be there for the birth?
I'd love it.
I'd hope so. If you wanted to
really
be,
love
look
it.
at him.
What if the father doesn't want any involvement whatsoever?
We have each other, and there's
too.
so many people around us that can offer love. Your mom, Carl, this baby's got love. We don't need for anyone's support.
We want it.
Yeah.
What if the father wants you to send photos and videos every single year on the birthday?
Absolutely.
It's 2022. We're doing that every day on.
Okay.
Okay.
What I'm hearing is
very
that's
open.
really
Yeah. The more people that want to be involved in this child's life, I would
better.
hope the better. It
takes a village.
Absolutely, it really does. But if they don't, there's no, thank you so much for the gift anyway, and we will treasure it.
We can give
every second.
Okay.
We can do it.
Now, important financial question. As you may or may not know, in New Zealand it is illegal to compensate any sperm donor or egg donor. That is not something that is legal. However, I know places like fertility associates, they give out like petrol vouchers if someone needs help getting to an appointment or something like that. I'm sure you guys would be open to coming up with your own agreement.
Have a conversation with the person to decide how they would like to be.
Yeah, but speaking about finances, what happens when the topic of child support comes up?
I'm pretty sure, just putting it bluntly, there's a lot of people out there who are just getting child support from the government anyway, who haven't got anyone written down on their birth certificate.
Would you guys be seeking child support from a sperm donor?
No. From the outset, not at all. Not in any way, shape or form.
No. Right.
Nothing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about shared parenting arrangements?
Open to discussion. People that want to have child.
Okay, all right. I'm just throwing some random.
So open to.
Yeah, all of that.
All
That
of
would
it.
be if that person wants to be more involved in the life in a family unit, and we can work out a method and to make that work for everybody, so everyone can still achieve their goals. That's primo.
The more love the child can have.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
the bigger
this,
the team
you guys.
can be.
I'm honestly just throwing really random questions at you guys, so I really appreciate the openness
It's nice
of your
to have
answers.
someone to talk to and ask.
Now, ideally, what would raising this baby look like? Now, You guys are living at Namesia's parents' house. You've got to sleep out there. From the sounds of things, you guys are quite well set up.
Yes, pretty well, yeah.
What would your plans be when it comes to raising the baby? Raising the baby in New Zealand, in Hawke's Bay?
Absolutely.
Exactly
any
where we are right
Any
now.
particular parenting methods that you associate
Ooh,
with?
yeah, yeah. Few changes I think I would make to the journey I had previously.
What would you change? Yes, because you said you've got it was it 19-year-old son?
18.
18-year-old son.
Next year.
Yes. So what would you do differently with this new child?
I would definitely put a lot more focus on internal happiness and just an emphasis that it's not what you achieve in your hand or in your mind, but the freedom you give your own heart. I would do that, and probably allow our child to have more time to just play instead of always having to be doing a task, a sport, an instrument, or anything. I'd just allow more time to just play and laugh. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's so amazing that you are getting this opportunity to have a second chance at raising a family. That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, we've discussed this just before we went live. We talked about, if people do want to get in touch and maybe apply for consideration to become a sperm donor for this beautiful whānau, please get in touch with my page. Send me a private message to Zeb Jackson Live. I will gather information and I will pass it on to these two beautiful creatures, and they will be in touch if needed. But yeah, we are definitely actively seeking unvaccinated sperm today, guys. So please spread the message around, get us some awareness, and let's help this beautiful whānau. Kia ora, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for watching, whānau. A special shout out to Yvonne and Claire for subscribing to my Patreon. I appreciate your support. If you would like early access to behind the scenes videos, please head over to Patreon and hit that subscribe button. Kia ora.